Yeah, we're playing a little bit of Hex here and there, Paradise Cell. Doing well. Life is swell. We do have children here in the afternoons on Thursday and Friday, so might be a little loud, but we're just gonna play a couple Hex matches anyways. We can't leave for Cincinnati until later tonight because Matt's working until 5, so. Some kind of multi-shard thing. It's different threshold, sure. I wonder if I should have put some graveyard hate in the sideboard of this deck. Probably wouldn't have been a terrible idea. Resubbing for Hex content. Hats, thanks and welcome back, bud. I appreciate that. 18 months. Welcome back. I've missed the noise. I think these cards are probably fine and constructed in general, Marty. Like, they're slow, but they're fixing and then they eventually replace themselves or accelerate, right? So, they're perfectly fine. Wouldn't be too surprised if these things end up playable in a few different shells. I mean, we just realistically, like, don't know what constructed actually looks like right now, right? Probably some kind of scribe deck, I'd imagine. Burn as that reanimates other things, sure. Yep. Cast to cannibalize here. It is ramp. So basically so the important thing to remember in Hex is that gaining a threshold doesn't mean gaining a resource. So basically this just provides colors for them when they play it out, and then later in the game they can pay 3 and sacrifice it to either draw a card or accelerate. So when they play it, it doesn't actually accelerate the resource, that just fixes their colors or their thresholds, and then later when they pay they can either accelerate or draw a card. So it is acceleration eventually, even if it's really slow. What's going on, Dark Wonders? Howdy. Just gonna keep Fate Weaving. I'm gonna Fate Weave a non-resource for now, I think. Like, I've already got resources 5-6 lined up here, so we'll see what else our opponent does. We really want to hit like a Hero Fall or a Pogo Stick to kill Uranaz if they reanimated. They can reanimate as early as next turn. Yeah, no problem. Questions are great. So there's a couple of small differences between the Hex and Magic resource systems. Yeah, that's true too. I'm glad that we're off the cost reduction things. A lot of the most messed up things happen are... What is this? Into your turn, look at the top, play a revealed card for free. Alright, well, my Strangles are probably not going to be... Strangles and Massacres are probably not going to get a lot of mileage out of this. We found some lackeys, so these will give us something else to do here. So our champion power here says sacrifice a troop, draw a card, and gain 3 health. So I'm just going to go ahead and bend this, see what we find. Extra cards here. We're going to have to move to hand size here, but that's really not that big of a deal because it looks like we've got a lot of cards that are basically just going to be stinkers. Massacre isn't particularly useful. If opponent has a Gift of Mordrum, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble, though. They're going to be able to literally floop the pig back into play here. The Avatar of Debauchery. We're not going to have a good way to interact with that. Yep, I assume the pig is coming into play here. Yep. When this attacks, you may have each champion discard a card. When this deals damage, they discard a card at random. That's pretty good. Alright, so what am I doing here? I probably just want... Oh, it has flight too? Oh, it's double socketed. Oh, that's really good. Okay, I'm gonna get to draw 2 cards on my turn. 3 cards, actually, because I have my champion power, right? So I could hit Dark Heart of Nulzan, Hero Fall, or Pogo Stick here to take the pig off the board. So let's hope we find one of those. Perfect. Big man Dark Heart. So still have Dark Heart. So this guy is going to make them sacrifice a non-socketed card at the start of their turn. So really glad we used the Strangle at end step so we could untap and have this get cleaned up nicely. Oh, they have that gem in there. Okay, right, because this is socketed and then gives something equal to the socket, so that makes sense. I'm basically playing a Jund-esque deck. So the deck I'm playing is like quality 1-for-1s and just value type things, which is not stellar against my opponent's essentially combo deck. So, they had a second reanimate card in 20 cards, which is really unfortunate for me. I really don't have a good line here, do I? I can play an Eternal Seeker here and eat their Abomination. That just leaves them an Uranaz and an Oinker still. Our inability to draw any spot removal that's good in 20 cards while they found two pieces of reanimate is real bad for us. You think I'm supposed to avoid the Unkers? I feel like I can just get rid of it, right? Because, like, yeah, I feel like... Oh, did they bring back... Oh, does this return a random one? Just lets you target. Your turn. Oh, it reverts it. Okay, so it lost the... It lost the gem. Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards at random, deal damage, target 2 people to discard. So I'm actually gonna sacrifice... Do I want to sacrifice my Eternal Seeker? This is probably gonna die regardless. Nah, I'm just gonna let this happen. Sweet, it didn't die. God bless. That was really good for us. This card does not seem particularly good. Seems quite bad, in fact. Oh, they have another one. Sure, it's probably dead this time. I got a 4/4. Is it Whispers? Sure. I don't really care about that. I have this Massacre that's... I guess the Massacre might do something later. Nah, that's probably not true. Probably not true. Probably don't want that to happen. So, we might be able to steal this here. This Uranaz reanimates something and gives it life drain, but we could potentially just Seeker whatever they get back. Yeah, the discard Doomblade seems a lot better. Just destroy target thing, discard a card. Oh, they're bringing back my Dark Heart. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Alright, so... I'm gonna lose my Abomination here. Am I? I could bin the Seeker, and then I could Seeker this. Seem particularly good. Kind of in a bad spot regardless here. I guess I just do this and then play a Seeker, void the Dark Heart. Yeah, that seems fine, and then I have 2 Seekers. We're slogging through pretty well here considering I really haven't hit much removal. So void the 5s, play this. I guess they would have lost the Uranaz if I left in the Dark Heart for a turn, but I don't think I really care about that. I guess I could have like played Acolyte of Flameout. But I think I'd rather just take their thing off the table and have pressure, because like this is this optional? At the end of your turn, revert up to 1 up to it is up to. Okay, so that is optional. It's really annoying. Mented Whispers is an obnoxious card. They can take my Abomination or my Naive Lackey here. We'll see what they take. Hopefully the Sabertooth coming down with speed is going to kill them. Wait. It went to 1? Really? Play the Sabertooth out. I guess it gives it life drain. They don't have an interrupt here. They're hopefully dead, because this doesn't have life drain, right? Yeah. Okay, sweet. Got him. Yep. Opponent's deck is just full of clunk and greed. I want another pogo stick. These massacres are real bad. Strangle was okay because I had 5 drops. So that's maybe fine. I guess I have Sabretooth to clean that card up. Probably want all of these Withering Gazes, not Whispering Gazes. So maybe I don't have room for Strangle. I've got 4 Hero Falls, 2 Pogo Sticks, and 3 Sabretooths. It seems fine. I don't think this is a Demented Whispers matchup. Burying card seems bad for me. Is our Whispers actually good? Do you think that's a route we can use to win the game? No, four cards is a playset here. I just have, this is a control deck that sees a lot of cards, so like some of these are expensive cards, so you don't want too many of them because you'll clunk up a little bit. So my top end here is mostly 3 ofs. These are like, basically I have 3 Dark Hearts, 3 Candlelights, 2 Eternal Secrets. These are all my finishers. And like, this is a 7 drop, but it also has a 2 cost activated ability. So it's a piece of spot removal in the early game. I love this card. It's so flexible. Yeah, this game is very close to Magic. It's like what Magic could be if Magic was in a digital form. Yeah, I feel like their deck plays to the board enough that I can't afford to Whispers them. It smells like I might need to change a diaper. I'll be right back. Boop, boop. Gag yourself. Upside to hex clocks being far longer than they need to be. I get to change a diaper and not get punished for it. That's decent. So our champion power here allows us to sacrifice 2 to draw a card and gain some health. So basically this deck uses these small troops to power our champion power as a card advantage engine. I've already got 4 resources in my hand, so I'm going to use this first Fate Weave to stack a non-shard on top of my deck. Who would ideally like to find some pieces of spot removal, or I just hate this card so much. It's so miserable. Maybe there should be some Robo-Goyles in my board. We're just gonna get Demented Whispered out of the game. I'm gonna slide out of the chair I'm not even sitting in. Yeah, so most resources when you play them out give you a charge point towards your hero power in addition to giving you a color and a total resource. So it's kind of an extra resource that you get to manage on top of your normal things that your resources give you. You can use your champion power up to once per turn, and when you meet the threshold requirements to do so, and the charges. So like when I play this 3rd resource, my champion power is going to light up here. It's going to let me sacrifice this to draw a card for the turn, and this also has a death cry effect, which says draw a card when it dies. Opponent missed their 3rd resource drops. Let's go ahead and Withering Gaze them and see what they've got in hand. Wait. This is a diamond card? Wasn't this a sapphire card before? They do not cost your resources that you spend to play other cards out. Do not cost those. Oh, it's grayed out. That's confusing. I don't know that I like that. That's weird. It's grayed out because you can't select. I don't know if that's really communicated to me. This looks like a diamond card. There are two things that Hex desperately needs to revamp. One is the new player experience, and two is the auction house. Those are the two things Hex desperately needs to improve. Their in-game interface is pretty good, and their actual card design is usually pretty stellar. I've been playing Hex pretty consistently for like 2.5 years now, a little over 2 years, and there's only really been one standard format in that time span that I just wasn't a huge fan of. That was this most recent one we just rotated out of. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and play Well of Hatred out here. And I'm gonna go ahead and attack for 3. I'm gonna go ahead and just stick this other Acolyte of Flame here. And just like, one of the things I love about this deck is that occasionally we just get like this kind of anemic beatdown plan going off of the troops that we want to sacrifice our charge power to. I'd give the in-game a B+. I think there's some details that the in-game could be good, but to set the bar low, the in-game interface is better than Magic Online by and large. Nobody likes that. Ain't that the truth, Burgle? Nobody likes an anemic backup beatdown plan like I do. It's what I live and dream. Well, I haven't played Magic Arena, so I don't know that I'm really qualified to give an educated comparison to that. Anything cheap and competitive? Yeah, so budget Hex right here, that link. Can we get an anemic beats? What would an anemic beats emote look like? What do we think? I'm trying to think what an anemic beats emote would look like. Ugh. So we're flooding a little bit, but this resource we can actually cycle it. We can pay 2 and discard it out of our hand to draw another card, and then it actually gives us a charge towards our champion power in addition to that. So we'll actually be able to champ power again next turn, which is sweet. Gross. Continuing to flood. Lotus Cobra. Alright, so I'm going to cycle this now. I could cycle as a quick action, but I would like to use my champion power here just in case they have some kind of sweeper. Continuing to flood. Alright, sweet. And we have this Jouncing Carnage here just in case my opponent has a reanimate for next turn. Well, they don't have anything in their bin yet, do they? They do not. Nothing in their bin just yet. Wall of Roots. Wall of Roots doesn't beat, to be fair. So their champion power lets them draw a card and then discard a card. We'd lethal in 2 if we didn't sack the guy. Now I'm just assuming that they're gonna do something to interact or impact the board. I'm just assuming that they're gonna do something to interact with or impact the board. He's got a... They'll never expect a pointy stick from the sky. I do enjoy the flavor on a lot of what Hex does. Okay, so this actually isn't a blood card, it's a sapphire card. It just has a blood gem in it. Yeah, I'm really not a fan of the grayed out interface change. Hey, inside voice. Do I want a Jouncing Carnage here? I feel like I don't. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and, well, Withering Gaze lets me make an educated decision this turn, which is great. Let's take a peekaboo, we get to look at their hand, and then play Water Ferryman, put another random troop from your crypt into play. Alright, so I'm gonna take their Demented Whispers here. I'm gonna go ahead and smash with everything here, hoping that they trade off the Runeforge Rummager here, so that way I can play Darkheart and eat their 4/4. They don't have anything scary in here, right? They have exactly this, but this doesn't do anything until it, hey! Alright, so this brings a random back. God, we are just mono floods. No, they do not color Fusion on them. So hopefully we're gonna hit a string of gas here. The question is, are we gonna be able to keep up with whatever gas they're able to assemble? I guess 2 of their cards are bad, right? They're just like drop-a-vicars right now, so it's not too big of a deal. I want to hold this Jouncing Carnage for whatever big scary thing they bring back. Oh, this brings a random. Okay, that's much worse than I thought it was. God, it's such a tilt that they keep, like, I Fate Weave non-resources twice, and then they've hit us with Demented Whispers both times. They're only at 11. I'm just gonna take this hit. That seems fine for me, right? Seeker. Seeker's okay. Hex is definitely closer to Magic. Hex is what I would describe as what Magic would be if it was created today. If it was created today with digital in mind, this is what is a tier 1 sub? Okay, I thought I did this yesterday, but yeah, 22. They renamed the tiers based on money. So instead of saying the dollar amount, they're tiers now. So the Eternal Seeker's interesting because I could void this so they don't get the Deathcry triggers. But then my Darkheart is going to eat my Eternal Seeker. So I think I just want the Darkheart to continue pressuring my opponent here. Wait, it's from any crypt? From a crypt. Wow, that card's really not that good. That card's really kind of medium. All right. I thought it just took a random out of their crypt. Because I remember looking at that card before and thinking it was just a random out of my own crypt, but any crypt really makes, like... I had a lot of stinkers in here. Do I get the same percentage regardless of sub-tier? I do, actually. So... It depends on how many subscribers you have, actually, depending on what you get per tier. So with the number of subscribers I currently have, I see the same amount of income per tier, regardless of tier. So I'm gonna Jouncing Carnage this guy. Do not take those. No, you're gonna hurt yourself. Dad needs to put these in the garage. Ugh. Giant pointy sticks. I need to put those somewhere the children can't get to them. So I'm gonna take 4 here. And then I think what my plan now is, since this has the shackling strands on it, I guess this sits there and just eats their stuff still, right? I have 2 different lines I could take here. I could get a little bit aggressive. I think I'm supposed to get aggressive here. And the reason why I'm supposed to get aggressive is because my opponent has Demented Whispers in their deck. So, like, they're gonna be able to kill me without actually... They're gonna be able to kill me without actually attacking, right? So... Children are basically tiny suicide machines, and your job as a parent is to make sure that they fail. That's basically the conclusion I've come to. Children are Chinese suicide machines, and your job as a parent is to try to make sure that they fail at their job. Yeah, so like, if there's a $25 sub, it's the same as five $5 subs. So, etc. A $10 sub is the same as two $5 subs. This is their Demented Whispers that I took out of their deck. Alright, so I'm gonna go and attack with this. I'm gonna put a non-resource on top of my deck. And then I'm actually not gonna, or am I gonna take, yeah, I should take the last two cards out of their hand. I should take the last two cards out of their hand. I was like, maybe I should wait on this because I'd like to hold up Hero Fall this turn. And I am gonna hold up Hero Fall this turn, I think. Whoa, I just put their big scaries in the bin. All right, definitely holding up Hero Fall. Maybe I shouldn't have Demented Whispers. Maybe I should have just Acolyte plus held up Hero Fall. That's probably right. Giving you bits is better than Streamlab donations. Technically, yes. So, basically the difference between bits and Streamlabs donations is who eats the fee. So like, if you buy $100 worth of bits, the person buying the bits pays the fee up front, basically, right? So, if you cheer 100, I get $100. Whereas if you donate 100, I get 100 minus the PayPal fee. Dude, what do you need? Play with you? Play with you? We just got done playing the Daniel Tiger game. Alright, so they're dead here. Let Dad play a couple of matches, and then we can go upstairs and play more Daniel Tiger game, okay? Where's your phone? Where'd your phone go? We'll kill our guy, and we'll attack for 3 here. I was expecting this to be kind of difficult for us, but we're actually slogging through right through here. Great. Have a cent. Thanks for the penny, Althor. I appreciate it. Hey, all those pennies add up. Like, people make jokes when there's little cheers, but they certainly all add up. Look at that. Hit some Doombringer packs. Let's cue another one, shall we? Are PayPal fees as disgusting as the bit markup? I'm not sure. It depends on... I'm not actually... I think they're slightly less. The bit markup's like 20 some percent, right? Or something like that, 20 or 30%. The PayPal fees are definitely less than 10%. The upside is a streamer for the bits, which is the real upside to it, is that we're playing against Mill. This deck is not very good against Mill. We just don't have any pressure because we're a control deck. And also doesn't have any pressure. 40 to 28%. That's, yep. Yeah, the PayPal fees are definitely lower. Definitely. You know what? I'm just gonna do the, and this is the funny part about the Hex Ladder. Like, I'm not really worried about my rank. We're just playing to have some fun in the new format. So I don't think this deck's ever gonna beat Mill the way I have it built. So I'm just gonna concede. It's gonna play another one and value my time. Hey, Hacky, thanks for the resub, bud. 23 months. Welcome back. 2 by 50. Whoa, that's a big markup. I did not realize that bits were that high of a markup. So the two big differences between bits are bits, you get the fun little thing in the channel, and when streamers are getting donations from, especially like new people, is like if I get a large donation from someone that I've never gotten a donation before, I generally wait a few weeks to a month before I consider the money from that donation actually in my pocket, because PayPal chargebacks are a thing that exists and are honestly aren't that uncommon, especially on Twitch, because there's like people that get kicks on donating money to streams and like watching their thing come up and then doing chargebacks later, whereas like Twitch in that markup is basically they're taking on that risk, right? So like if there's a chargeback, PayPal or Twitch is the one that's dealing with that, as opposed to the streamer being the one that deals with it. Are they? Is the PayPal fee more on smaller amounts? I'm actually genuinely don't know. Sacrifice this, draw a card, draw two. Yeah, and like the regulars here, obviously, I appreciate all of y'all, and I don't expect people to charge it back. But like the first time someone donates, like the first time a username pops up, especially for a large amount, I'm definitely always like, let's just make sure that this is this is real, effectively. So opponent's playing Plague the Hollow. Target troop you control gets Deathcry, summon 2 Blight Blossoms. It's an interesting one. Are they more aggressive decks? This is when it dies, each opposing champion loses 3. I think there's probably a couple of the guys on my team have been working on aggressive decks built around Blightburster. This card was really impressive in the Aristocrat shell. I'm probably just gonna massacre this turn. This thing's gonna deal enough damage to us that I really don't want to take a bunch of hits from it. We have some ways to gain health in our deck, but not a ton, so I think I just want to clear out this burster here. Thank you, Marty. Yeah, I know, and I appreciate there are a number of folks that stayed subbed specifically for the Hex content through the short Hex drought. But I'm planning to, my next 3 weeks are going to be kind of hectic, because so Owlland confirmed tomorrow, or well, my long stream's not, I'm not wearing the costume this weekend. This weekend is the team open in Cincinnati, so there's no costume out of me this weekend. Next event. So yeah, I was just about to say my schedule is going to be a little bit medium hectic, slightly inconsistent for the next 3 weeks, because I am a big silly and have I'm going to a team event this weekend, and then I've been paid to go to an individual Modern Open in whatever. So after the Milwaukee Open, I'm gonna hopefully look into having 1 to 2 hex days a week consistently. I think this afternoon slot, about when I streamed today and yesterday, I'm gonna try do like Thursday, Friday afternoon, like start noon 30, 1 o'clock, 1:30, somewhere in there, and play for a couple hours. And almost certainly mostly constructed. Alright, so Jacob, I know Phineas and Ferb is exciting, but inside voice. So those of you that haven't seen this deck before, or maybe just don't remember, so Dark Heart's one of our finishers in this deck. It makes our opponent sacrifice an unsocketed card every turn. The other powerful finisher and source of card advantage in this deck is Candlelight. So this is a 6-cost quick action that deals 6 damage to an opposing champion or troop, so it doubles as removal. And then, in addition to doing that, it's a finisher, I said, because it gives all of our other actions Illuminate 1. And what Illuminate does is it allows our cards to either create a new candle or power up all of our existing candles. So basically, once I play a copy of Candlelight, all of our other actions in our deck are going to start making candles and adding board presence that we can both pressure our opponent with or sacrifice to our champion power to gain health and draw cards. Perry the Platypus is the greatest cartoon character of our kids' generations. I know Mike was a big Phineas and Ferb fan. He was like, this is an upgrade to what your children normally watch. All right, so I'm going to Candlelight this in response, so that way they don't get the Deathcry trigger on it. And now you can see here, the text has been modified on this Haunting Cry, so it now says Illuminate 1. So when I cast this Haunting Cry, I will get to Illuminate. Correct, Nick V. So Hex rotates cards every even set release. So with set 10, some cards will rotate, but Candles was primarily a mechanic, or it was all the Candles mechanics were from sets 7 and 8. So like if you buy Candles cards now, they're not going to rotate with the next rotation even. Candles had like 3 copies in the top 8 of the last 1K Sage. Which, aggressive decks are always going to do better early, but I'd be pretty surprised if Candles was entirely pushed out of the format, not tier 1 or very close to it. Another burster. So the dark card's just gonna like chew through their board here very quickly. You basically just get to sit back on these whenever they put non-socketed cards into play and just gobble them up. So this basically fogs us from attacking for the turn, but it doesn't really do anything other than that. I'm gonna go ahead and scrounge this, which means I void a troop from my crypt. And when I scrounge it, I get to go ahead and draw 2 cards and lose 2 health. It has the Candlelight modifier on it, so it's also gonna let me summon a candle. I have to sacrifice this candle next turn anyways, so I'm just going to go ahead and sacrifice it to my champ power to draw an extra card now. And you can see here how the small troops kind of power the engine in this deck to allow me to use my champion power. Sorry, the only appropriate response to Phineas and Ferb riding a rocket ship is screaming at the top of our lungs. Your tea is ready, ain't that the truth? He's a little teapot. Doo, doo, doo. Beep, 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 beep. Heard the kettle. Okay, let's Haunting Greg in here. Kind of cycle through, draw some more cards. And then these dark cards actually I have the minor sacrifice gem in them right now, which I think is okay. I can sacrifice this candle to make this one a 5/5, or I could just pick up another card. I probably just want to pick up another card. My options are draw a card or don't draw a card. Ooh, and one of the things that's sweet about Candlelight is the instances of Illuminate stack when you get multiple Candlelights going. So like after I fire off the second Candlelight, all my other actions are going to illuminate one twice. And I get to kind of stack that up. So I'm gonna take this and blast him upstairs here. Still deal 6 and add the second illuminate line to all of my stuff. I do have to sacrifice this to this right now, but that's not a big deal. So we'll play out this remnant. Remnant definitely helped this deck. Like having more dual shards is real good. Alright, they should be pretty dead here. So I can use this to eat candles. This will be lethal. Like, I can do 2 more here and I have another candlelight in my hand. Alright, I don't really know what they're doing. They're just playing like things I want to kill. So I guess I'm just gonna cut these cannibalizes, some of our extra card draw, and bring in some strangles just so they don't overrun me in case they're playing a more aggressive deck. I don't think I need a Jouncing Carnage. It looks like a lot of their stuff is smaller, so Strangle and the Primordial Sabertooth should be plenty to clean them up. So let's go. That seems fine. I want to lead on Iotachi coins on 1 since it's a slow shard, which means I can't strangle on 2, but I'll get through Iotachi coin into Acolyte of Flame on 2, and then on 3 we can bin the candle to our champion power and play Jouncing Carnage or Strangle. This second coin, especially since we drew a 5th resource already, I'm probably going to save this to cycle later on. Probably going to save that to cycle later on. Haunting Cry is awesome. This card just it synergizes so well with our champion power. Just like get to basically pay 2, lose 2, draw 2. Yeah, basically Acolyte's just like another card in addition to Naive Lackey that's cheap that fuels our Takahiro power. It allows us to use Takahiro as a draw engine, basically. It also, like, there's a lot of games where you'll play with this deck where you just, like, draw 2 Acolyte of Flames post-board in a control matchup where, like, they've boarded out most of their removal, and you're like, alright, I'm just gonna, like, bring the anemic Acolyte of Flame beats for the next 12 turns and kill you. And it ain't pretty, but it's what we got. Opponent appears to be missing their wild thresholds. Do you have any playable cards? I'm actually just gonna Jouncing Carnage this. I could kill it with Strangle, but I just want to be resource efficient this turn. I'm gonna go ahead and play this out. You could maybe make an argument for playing the Iotachi coin, but like, I'm gonna get to draw 2 with Haunting Cry plus cycle this coin, so I'm pretty likely to hit another resource in those 4 draws. And I'd rather err on the side of being slightly resource light than being flooded in this deck, especially when I have 4. The bouncing pogo stick from the sky. What will control do once Dark card rotates? I think there's plenty of quality answers. Like we have Hawkward Turn that answers any card now that's very good in the in Sapphire Diamond. Eternal Seeker will still be here when Dark card rotates. You have Pipit Hustler and Sapphire Wild to answer any permanent type. Hex has a lot of really good quality answers right now. Wait, what are we getting back? Getting back to Blightbark Vampire? Sure. Draw a couple cards, lose a couple life. Sweet. So I can actually cycle this Iotachi coin to gain another charge, which puts me in my champion power turn ahead of schedule here as well, which is nice. Yeah, definitely will depend on which control cards get added for sure. So I'm gonna play her out, make another candle, and gobble my candle up with Takahiro. Takahiro Flame Eater. Ooh, that's gonna be good. And like, it's funny because like these Acolyte of Flames aren't in here to beat our opponents down with, but like, especially when we have things like Candlelight at our top end and Sabertooth that's a speedy threat, like we really can close games out of nowhere with this deck. And I'm really a big fan of these type of control decks where you can like pressure and interact and control the board in the early game and then pivot hard and fast in the mid to late game. Enjoy your candle. Nope, you get all the champions and gems by default. Just gonna pass the turn here. I think this is just gonna be a Candlelight turn so I can get my value going on my actions. Jake and Declan are playing with a box, and Declan was foolish enough to crawl under said box, and now Jake is sitting on top of it. Alright, so I'm gonna take this Candlelight. I'm just gonna dome them with this Candlelight, I think. I'm just gonna dome them with the Candlelight. Let Declan out, please. Thank you. So I'm gonna do, what does this do? When a troop you control with Death Cry dies, each opposing champion. Okay, so I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna put a non-resource on top of my deck here. And these Strangles will illuminate. I don't think I want to play them though. I guess, oh, are there no troops in Crypts? Oh, there's a Baroness Floria. I'm just gonna pass here. I'm gonna strangle these, at least the Blightbark Vampire, I think, and then next turn I'll play this Eternal Seeker, which will void the Blightwater Ferryman, and voiding this is ideal because it won't get the Deathcry trigger. Gallows Ash. Whenever a troop leaves your crypt, summon a Blightbark Burster. That card's sweet. So when I illuminate, I can either make a new candle or make my existing candles larger. So I went ahead and I turned this one into a 2/2 so that way I could eat their candle inside of combat. Are they gonna sacrifice this? I feel like they have some way to sacrifice this if they're putting that trigger on it. Why not? Play my Seeker. Yeah, getcha. Choose the number 6. Smack for 6 points of damage here. It's probably the game. And this 5/5 flyer and then 6 power on the board. Doomed Guardian. That, when this dies, get all your Deathcry troops back. Yep. Hex has lots of owls, actually. There's far more owls than Magic. Actually, the control deck we played earlier today has a bunch of owls in it. Make a candle. Monkey doodle. Monkey doodle. In fact, my vanity card summons an owl. There is literally an owl in my vanity card. There's literally an owl in my vanity card that I have in Hex. Play at least one more. Yeah, Candlelight's super powerful. It's just like it's similar to Darkheart, but in a different way, in that it's an answer that's also a threat. So like those split threat answer cards are just so powerful inside of control decks. Because you don't have to have like this powerful threat rot in your hand when you're not ready to win the game. Answer threats like Ravenous Chupacabra. I wouldn't call Ravenous Chupacabra a powerful finisher. Yeah, if you can, and the fact that Candlelight is quick usually means you can find a window to push it through against decks that have interrupts as well. What does this champion do? Target tribute is +3. So like, this is one of the things I love about Hex. Like, I haven't been playing a lot this season. This is actually the first time I've played against this champion, but I can look at this champion and go, this champion is an aggressive power, so my opponent's likely playing an aggressive deck. So this hand that has like a turn 3 draw 2 and a turn 5 other card, I'm gonna mulligan this. Whereas, like, if my opponent was playing a champion that indicated they were likely a more mid-range or control deck, I could keep that first hand. So there's just that added layer of skill through, like, not auto-losing games because I just kept a hand that wasn't good in a given matchup. And here, we actually have the same 2 cards, but we have a piece of spot removal on 2 now. So just exactly what we want. I'm going to go ahead and Fate Weave a non-resource to the top of my deck here. We're going to want a 5th shard for the dark card at some point, but I've already got the first 4 lined up, so I think I can err on the side of trying to find some more spot removal for the time being. Potential spontaneous combustion. What does that do? Is that like a fling type effect? Dyna Dummy. 1, 2. I'm gonna go ahead and just play this blood shard out. I don't want to strangle these Dyna Dummies. So they could play a 3-drop here like this when this deals damage. So yeah, so like this is worth killing. So I'm gonna go ahead and strangle this guy. Get him right on out of there. We're gonna take 2 here. We are getting a little low. Our champion does start pretty low on health, so hopefully we can find a troop at some point here. So that way we can bin it to our champion power. Pass back. Opponent did miss their 3rd resource drop, so they're not getting anything too big going. We are going to at least 11 this turn, though, because we're going to take 2, plus we're going to cannibalize to lose 2 more. Do need to get some actual cards going. So are there counter spells in this game, and are they decent? Yeah, actually, we played, there's a bunch of different cancels with various upsides in this game. And actually, we played a match with a Sapphire-based control deck earlier today. It's on my YouTube channel. And it depends on the season, too, right? Like, certain seasons, counter spells are going to be better than others. I'm going to put a non-resource on top of my deck here. We are just going to have a Dark Heart Parade here in a second. Actually, you know what? I wasn't going to kill these, but since I'm playing Dark Heart out next turn anyways, just having less... I'm still taking the same amount of damage because they're going to give this Gladiator, so I'm still going to take 2 from this, but having less permanents on their board will be good for us with the Dark Heart. They're gonna crack us for 5 down to 6. We're actually getting pretty dangerously low here. That's a hero fall. Do I just want to kill both of their things? I think I just want to kill both of their things. I think I want to just kill both of their things. So if they don't have a speed troop, we should be in a good spot. Hopefully they can't surprise 6 us. We just want them to, like, play non-socketed sorcery speed threat here. Basic speed threat. Play this out. Yeah, honestly, one of the best ways to get a feel for X is to just dive in. If you have a little bit of extra spending money, the Candles deck is like somewhere in the $15 to $20 range, maybe even a little bit less than that. And the Candles deck, even the budget version, if you're a reasonable TCG player, is enough to fully climb the Hex ladder because it's good and aggressive and pretty reasonable. So picking that up and just diving into the ladder and playing some matches and seeing if it's for you, you know, like $15, that's like the cost of going to, you know, getting something to eat and going to a movie, right? He's hoping you belcher some people. I tried very hard to let Manny let me belcher some people. He might have told me no. He might have told me that wasn't allowed. Hopefully we don't get burned out of this game. It's possible I should just hit my champion power and, like, eat these Dark Hearts. Hey, Rising Sun, thank you very much for the tier 1 subscription. I do appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for the support. Really like to draw a troop I feel like sacrificing. We have all these Dark Hearts, so their board's thoroughly in check, so we got that going for us. What's going on, Chlorophilia? We're almost platinum on the ladder. We're kind of a big deal. Almost platinum. I think we're gold 1. I think we just got 2 packs. So I think that means we're gold 1. So these aren't socketed, so they're gonna get gobbled up by my dark cards here. Opponents had enough, packing it in. So we're gonna cut some of our top end for more spot removal here. We're gonna cut the cannibalizers to bring in strangles. I think this is probably a pogo stick matchup. Cut something else from up here. Eternal Seeker's probably a little slow. Honestly, they're kind of a swarm deck. I'm gonna just bring in the other massacre. Let's do that. And I haven't played against like stock mono blood at all yet. I assume once we get into platinum, we'll start seeing things like that. We played against kind of a Deathcry themed mono-ish blood deck, but it wasn't like the Bride Demented Whispered Cockatrice mono blood deck. Nope. There's details on how to get into the Discord are here. Mortuary. Or Moriarty? Is that right? It's definitely not Mortuary. Moriarty? I'm so bad at reading usernames. You'd think once this became my job, I'd be better at reading usernames, but that's just not how the cookie is crumbled. That's just not how the cookie is crumbled. Go ahead and I think I'm just gonna fate weave some resources here. I have resources lined up in my hand, but because all of these are ice, they're all slow shards, which means they don't make a resource the turn I play them. So I'd ideally like to hit a non-slow shard or 2 so I can like play my Acolyte on 2 or like maybe play a Jouncing Carnage or a Hero Fall on 3. And if we hit a non-slow shard here, I'm probably just going to kill this. Sweet, perfect. So we Fate Wove. So Primordial Sabertooth again, this is one of the cards that's really powerful in a shell like this because it's a modal card. So it could be a 7 cost, 5/4 speed, but it can also just activate for 2 to basically roast something, deal 5 damage to it, and then it puts itself back into my deck so we can draw it later as a threat. And then next turn, if we don't draw a non-slow shard, we can still go Blood Ice into Acolyte of Flame, which is nice. And we can actually bin the candle to my champion power. I hit a shard though. Yeah, I'm just gonna kill their things. I'm just gonna keep bringing them down. Hero Fall this guy. Howling Rebel out of there. Kills the Howling Rebel and then gets rid of all the other Howling Rebels out of their deck in hand. Nope, just Magic in the mornings on Fridays. So my goal is to do Magic every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon, and then every Thursday, Friday morning. We got one out of their hand. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Take my 2 for 1. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put a non-resource on top. I'm gonna pass here with Jouncing Carnage up because maybe they champion power this and we get to kill it with the champion power. Yep. Yeah, Feral is why can't I click on Feral? Oh hex. Feral has to be blocked by two troops, right? Yeah, that's why I just post the link. My schedule will hopefully be pretty consistent through the end of the school year, so for the next month and a half or so. And then we'll probably have to readjust over summer. We need to figure out what Christy and I are doing with the kids over the summer. Need to figure out if we want to find another college kid or maybe do daycare. Yeah, Feral is effectively menaced. Look at that. We've got a power up out of their hand. We got their champion power. The Jouncing Carnage. Give him the pogo. Give him the pogo. Gobble my candle. Kill that, grind him down here, smack him for 3. I always heard really good things about Force of Will TCG, and then the artwork on it is just a complete showstopper for me. Just like, let's not have basically hentai on my cards, please. This is not good. Yes, yeah, exactly. Arnavar. It's very close to hentai. It's not. At least Hex has some artwork that I wish was a little bit more tasteful, but none of it is Force of Will bad. None of it is Force of Will is like a whole nother level of this is obnoxious and uncomfortable. Everything else put together? Yeah, I'll just play one more with this. Sarah Angel should cover up too. Magic definitely has a few bits that have some unnecessary, let's call them parts. I don't mind if a card is like, let's call it a sexualized nature, if it's like flavorful to the card. But like, what's a good example? Like, let me actually, I'm gonna pull a piece of Hex artwork up here that I really hate. And I don't hate it from an artistic perspective. I hate it from a, why is this like overly sexualized? Basically, the Intrepid Conjurer. Like, this card, like, this is supposed to be like a warrior, right? So like, why are her tits hanging out of her armor? And like, why are her legs showing here near her pelvic region? Just like, there's no reason for this card from a Vorthos perspective to be like, to have provocative artwork, right? Yes, exactly. Like the succubus, cool. I get it. Like, that's it's from a flavor perspective, sure. But just like Intrepid Conjurers, there's a couple others that I can point out too, but like that's the one that like really stands out in my mind from when, just like, what? This seems unnecessary. You wanna play a game? Here. I think I can't picture Cyan's artwork in my head right now, but I feel like I've looked at Cyan before, and I think it's probably fine. You want some pretzels? Can you get your bowl, Jacob? Get your bowl. Jake. Jake. I think I'm gonna keep this. We're on the draw, so like we have a good chance to hit our third resource that way. We have the root is a new piece of fixing. I just have one of these in here because I'm not sure if I need them in addition to the remnants. But they're basically like slower fixing. I can play them as just a shardless shard, so it'll gain a resource and a charge, or you can pay one and discard it to make a ruby or a blood shard. So I think that's fine. I'm probably gonna discard that and make a ruby here in a second. Right. We're gonna cantrip with this Haunting Cry in their next turn. So we get 2 shots to find a resource for another cantrip here. Hey, inside voice. I know Phineas is exciting, but simmer. Simmer. Perfect. Perfect again. Put another resource on top of my deck. Play this Naive Lackey. I don't actually want to hit my champion power here because this draws a card when it dies. So if I draw 2 cards here, I'm going to have to move to hand size and discard. I'm rooting for more Hex content. What's going on, Tom? Welcome back. Thanks for the 21-month resub, bud. I appreciate it. And yeah, we're gonna work Hex back into the regular schedule here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have anything posted until after. Yeah, you can kill my thing. That's fine. I'd rather that than you get a phantom. This is deploy verdict. Okay. Until after Milwaukee, because like next week, I'm kind of pseudo committed to doing we're mostly at the Owl Stream Fund, right? We're at like, hey, Tarnator. Thank you for the Twitch Prime, bud. Appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for sending the fun money this way this month. And Gift, I'm going to be doing a 12-hour Owling Mine stream next week sometime. I think we're going to do some kind of celebratory. We rolled past 1,000 sub points on the Magic side, so we're going to have to do something for that, I think. Something fun. Maybe I'll try and talk the wife and let me do 2 12-hour streams next week. And can close them out with some Hex. Opponent playing like some kind of 4-shard thing. Probably just gonna like Hero Fall or Jouncing Cartage, one of their things here. Steel's annoying, Feral, and okay. How close are we to the Owl meme? We're pretty close. We're at 1,900, so we'll almost certainly find $100 worth of donations between now and a week from now. We're pretty close. Yeah, I agree, Tom. And like when someone mentioned earlier, like, what's a good way to get started? Like, if you build the budget candles deck, in all honesty, it's probably going to be better than like, I don't know, let's make up a number, half of the random decks that you play. Like, I think since I've been back, we've played like maybe half a dozen matches, and a lot of them have been like card decks that are more than 60 cards, right? You want some pretzels, Declan? Can you get a bowl, please? There's a bowl in the corner of the couch. Can you grab that? I've actually, it's funny, I don't think I've ever climbed the constructed ladder this late into the season, because this season is half done, right? This ladder season rolled over at the beginning of February. So usually, generally speaking, it came through, Tar. You're fine. It came through. When you sub for the after being off for a little bit, it just pops up automatically. What was I gonna say? So when the ladder season rolls over, a lot of the people that are really serious about playing like Hex in the competitive sense, they ladder up very quickly and very early in the season, generally speaking. So like the people that are playing the more, if you want to call them real decks, like similar to what I've been playing on the ladder, they're pretty much into Cosmic by now. So a little bit more casual type decks that I've been pairing into still so far. I just hit platinum, so when we play some more next week, we'll probably start getting into more serious decks that people could be playing. But now I was just taking a break, and this is feedback I've passed along to folks at Hex. It's tough when you just like you need a break from like standard in Hex, because like Immortal doesn't have a lot of support. So if I need to take a break from Forgotten, let's see that, Salt. Thank you for the 4-month 3 subscription, a third of a year. Welcome back. Thank you for the continued support. So sorry, what I was saying, if you need a break from standard and you're not really into limited, there really isn't another choice in Hex right now, which is, you know, I understand from somewhat from reasons, but it's definitely like, you know, the alternative was just take a break. And we took a break, and they released a new set, and the new set seems sweet, so we'll see. Like I said, we gotta get a feel for once we get up into Cosmic and Platinum and see how things are playing out there. I just don't really enjoy limited. Like, it's not, and that's not even a Hex thing. Like, I don't play limited in Magic either. Like, when I'm playing a TCG, I like to, like, building and tuning decks is really the thing I'm interested in doing. So, you know, like, it to me, I can see like more tangible improvement, like as I'm making changes to a deck list, and like, you know, my results are changing, or I'm having better matchups against the things I'm looking to improve them against. Whereas like in limited, the skills are just different, right? Like limited is about identifying, you know, signals in a draft pod, or what your powerful uncommons are, what the most powerful theme in your sealed pool is, not necessarily just picking out your rares and stuff like that. And while there's definitely skill involved in that, it's different skills that just aren't as interesting to me as the skills that go into playing constructed. Yeah, Cloudbounder was the 3/3 mobilized. Yep, I got a lot of Cloudbounders. Yeah, and that's part of it too. Like, part of limited too, like traditional limited formats, is that they're low powered TCG environments where, like, you know, a lot of the powerful cards in TCG that are designed for constructed are rares. So when you're playing a non-cube type format, you're like just bumping weak cards into each other by and large. Yeah, life is swell. JK has spring break next week, actually, from preschool, and Declan is Declan. He's obnoxious. Declan's starting to put full sentences together, which has been fun and a little terrifying. Mostly terrifying, but you know, it's been funny to watch him grow and change. I think I'm gonna cut my sweepers and just bring in spot removal here. It doesn't look like they have a ton of troops. They're also just like playing 100 card decks, so I'm just gonna bring in my point and clicks. Full loud sentences. Definitely both of those adjectives. Yeah, set 665 was a limited format that I thought was reasonable. I like that one. The first Kismet drafts was one I did a little bit too. Yeah, I remember growing up, all we did was draft. Like when you're just playing like casual formats, by and large, draft is great, right? It's like playing a casual constructed format is a lot like playing just sealed, right? Like no one's buying cards. Like you just have the cards that you opened. We just like opened them from a lot of booster packs instead of from 6 booster packs. I might be a little bit salty towards the current draft format because they didn't share their stupid change. I don't know if the change itself was stupid, but the lack of communication was bad. I actually 3-0'd a draft, and then I have a draft deck sitting that I haven't finished yet. I haven't played with. And Tom, they only have a 98 card deck. Saying my opponent has a 100 card deck. Kind of fake news is that? Yep, I agree. I feel like, and this is, maybe it could just be that I don't get it, right? Maybe it's just that I don't get it, but like playing sealed especially feels like there's so many more variance elements to it. To me, it feels like, in my opinion, than playing constructed, right? Just like that, oh, they had a commander prompt. Well, they had X, they had their bomb. Play so Remnant. This is the first time our Remnants have actually dealt damage to us in these games today. Is that I think so. We get to cycle this for blood. I think that's true for most people, regardless of what format they like playing hats. Just because, like, and that goes back to power level again, right? Well, draft tends to be a little bit more balanced than sealed, right, Bob? Because there's more cohesion. Like, you see more removal on average in draft, whereas like sealed, a lot of the time you just like don't have removal. Like I top eighted a few of the clash. These were a clash prize, right? I think I top eighted 1 clash and then 32 and 16 a bunch of others, and like the clashes I did best in, my sealed pool was objectively better than the clashes that I did poorly in, which I guess shouldn't be a surprise, but like play my Acolyte out. Two different matches, more varied than the 2 different matches in constructed. You haven't seen it all as fast. Maybe. I don't think that's true for good constructed formats. Good constructed formats should have a lot of different things going on in them. Yeah, exactly. Like, the interesting part of the limited is usually not the gameplay, which is, like, not good from a content perspective, at least. I don't know if a deck's busted, give it to Marty. Alright. Gonna hero fall through this for the sake of resource efficiency. Hopefully Strangle kills most of their things. Attack for 3. Hit my champion power on my candle here. That puts a body in my discard pile for this Haunting Cry down the line. Did Burgle tell you that, Marty? Did Burgle share my message? Yeah, this is my looking through the cards and making small updates to the Blood Ruby Takahiro deck I played last season. Very minor changes. We have remnants in the resource base. I added a couple of pogo sticks. I think that's it. It's just remnants and pogo sticks. I think it's remnants and pogo sticks. Dude, inside voice. I get it. Phineas is exciting. I will snag a deck list off of PvP tools after we finish this match and link it. I will try to remember to set up my API stuff for next week so we can. What does this do? The start of your turn if you have no cards with portal and sure. Dice to dark heart. That's what it does. I think the thing I'm looking forward to most getting out of Platinum and into Cosmic is people that can play slightly faster. A lot of the people that play in Gold and Silver just move very slowly. Wait, they're putting my Acolyte of Flame back into my hand? That means I get to play it again and make another Candle opponent. God bless, I guess. Seems loose like a goose. Do I want to cycle this Haunting Cry to try and hit a resource? Yeah, I think I do. Ding. Yeah, the comments on Force will have nothing to do with the subjective quality of the artwork. It's just objectively it's close to hentai. I've chastised my Acolyte of Flame. See, one of the things I wish, so a lot of Hex's in-game interface is great, but like, I really wish I could look and see that resource my opponent just played so I could like know if that's the portal card that they generated, because like they generated an uncommon portal. So like, was that the portal that they generated, or is their portal something else? Is this the portal maybe? Nope, that's a common. Smack him for 4. Play my dark card. Going on, Zetterall. Yeah, we can't leave. I think we're leaving in about 3 hours. YouTube definitely does some strange things. Definitely does some strange things. I'm doing Magic in the mornings on Friday, so if you didn't catch what we did this morning, Moriarty, it is on YouTube now. We played, did you poop again? Yeah, I agree, Marty. Do you need help with something? What do you need? You want to sit down? Alright, Dad will sit down with you after he finishes this game, okay? Alright, let's lean on Naive Lackey here and bid into my champion power. I think we're just gonna strangle this and smack them for 4. We're getting them pretty close to dead at this point. Peace Tar, thanks for dropping in for the support. I'll be back next week for sure with more Hex stuff. And we played a little bit yesterday too. If you want to check out more constructed stuff, it's on my YouTube channel. All of it gets uploaded there as always. Their champion for 3 charges puts a card back into its controller's hand and then makes it 1 cost until the start of the next turn. And it's only an opposing card. Yeah. Sure. Does it confuse you because it's not particularly good? Is that why it's confusing? The actual reason why I haven't touched MTG Arena is because you can't play Magic in it yet. Like, if you look at the donation deck list queue that we have for the Magic streams, like, there are infinite modern decks in there at all times. And the decks that aren't modern are like Legacy and Pauper. Like, the things people actually want to like pay to see me play aren't formats that Arena might ever have, right? Like they've said no plans to support. They refused to commit to supporting formats like Modern and Legacy. So Arena could be great for all I know, but if I can't play the Magic that I'm interested in playing on it, like it just doesn't really have any use to me as a player. I think there's something crappy in my basement. I'll be right back. I think we're gonna play one more. You poop child? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Can we change your diaper, please? You made sneaky poop, yep. Alright, let's find a match, and then be right back. I run this diaper upstairs. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Angus. Hey, Zan's pretty good against Angus. Haunting Cry could leave a bit to be desired. Acolyte of Flame's one of our better cards against aggressive decks, though, so. Perfect. Thank you, Marty. First real opponent. Dead? Deader than dead? Might be a quick last one. Honestly, as far as like new digital card games go, like that Arena's probably years away from having modern. I'm more interested in poking at Artifact when it comes out. That's the digital TCG that it's going to be a TCG that Valve's working on. Like that definitely feels like it might be interesting. No, this is gonna be my last match of the day. I have to get packed. I am playing an Open this weekend in Cincinnati. Might be a quick one. I don't really have cheap shots or anything like that in my deck list, so we won. No, it's not the Owl event. The Owl event is going to be April 7th in Milwaukee. Yeah, I'm not sure if I remember how to shuffle cards physically. We'll find out. Find out. So we're taking at least 2 here. If they have some spot removal, we're taking more than that. Our low health total is definitely gonna hurt us here. We can gain life using our champion power, but like we need extra troops in order to do that. Want to do this?
Maybe.
They have a fireball here. We're in a lot of trouble. You found more grapes? They replayed the goat, playing around Hero Fall well. Yeah, we're basically dead here. And Angus is lined up to just deal 3 to us here already. We're gonna take 3 from here, so we're like dead to Fireball, dead to Matriarch, dead to Mama Yeti. Yeah. Yeah, it's super dead. Yeah, my reserves aren't really built for this. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call it an afternoon, folks. Thanks everyone for hanging out. If you didn't catch it, we played the Blood Ruby deck for like an hour and a half, so I'm gonna get them uploading to YouTube now. We played a control deck this morning, and then we played a couple of combo decks yesterday on stream, so I'll catch all y'all on later. If any of you are Magic players going to be in Cincinnati this weekend, feel free to say hello, and I'll be back at some point next week with some more Hex, and on Monday for sure with some Magic.